Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Giselle and I review fragrances. If you're new here, welcome to my channel and I hope you like my content and you consider subscribing because I am a fairly new YouTuber, only 4 months in the platform, and your support will mean the world to me. So if you like my content, consider subscribing, giving me a thumbs up. That way you will help me grow my channel. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for your constant support. Guys, today I have a list of 10 fragrances that will knock his socks off. So if you are interested, stay tuned. I'm gonna start the list with my favorite fragrance from Xerfjoff, which is Luau. This is a highly underrated fragrance. Nobody talks about this. Very few people know about this, but it's my one and only. If I had to keep one fragrance out of my entire collection, this would be it. It's absolutely stunning. It's feminine, it's luxurious, it smells like nothing you smell out there. Although it has some resemblance to Ferret, like the original Ferret, it does have a resemblance, but it's quite another thing. It's beautiful. It has orange, it has bergamot, it has cantaloupe, the cantaloupe melon. It smells divine. It has pink pepper as well. It has vanilla, it has patchouli. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's ultra feminine. I don't think this is a unisex fragrance, although you can wear whatever you want, but at least my husband won't wear this in a million years. It is too feminine for him, but it's divine. I get massive compliments from men. And yeah, what I can tell you is that it's an absolutely beautiful fragrance. Now, mind you, this is the pre-repackaging formula. I'm not sure if the new one has been reformulated. I hope not, because usually when houses reformulate their perfumes, usually, and unfortunately, it's not the same. So I'm talking about the old packaging. They have repackaged the whole series. I think this belongs to the Shooting Stars collection, and they have rebranded and repackaged the whole thing. This is the old one, and I can't wait to wear it. Maybe tonight I will wear this. I love it. I think it's a massive compliment getter for me, and I think it's a great fragrance to knock his socks off. So give it a try. Luau by Xerfjoff. So guys, the second one on the list is Scent of a Dream by Tilbury. Let me tell you, the juice is as beautiful as the bottle. This is a floral chypre fragrance. It has been launched in 2016. As a chypre, it has bergamot, labdanum, and bergamot in the composition. It also has black pepper. It's stunning. It also has peach, saffron, mandarin orange. It has lemon, although you don't really smell the citruses. It's such a well-rounded and well-blended mix that you can't really distinguish notes overpowering other notes. Stunning. It also has jasmine and my two favorite molecules in perfumery, which are ambroxan and Iso E Super. Iso E Super, it's slightly woody and it will make the fragrance smell like really clean. You will feel so put together and you will feel so crisp, like fresh out of the laundry. It's a stunning fragrance, very sexy. It's divine. It's really divine. Give it a try. Scent of a Dream by Tilbury. Third one on the list, Sol Cheirosa 62 by Sol de Janeiro. This is the same brand that makes the Bum Bum Cream. Guys, this is stunning. It's a super beautiful fragrance, which most prominent notes are pistachio and caramel. It has salt as well, salty notes. It has vanilla, it has sandalwood, it has heliotrope, it has almonds, but mostly vanilla. It's super sweet. It's super sweet. And although this is a very summery type of fragrance, I tried it the other day and I realized that it performs really well under cold weather, because the cold weather kind of tame and make that type of caramel overdose very subdued. It can be hard. This is a heavy hitter for summer. It's a beautiful fragrance. It smells like the Bum Bum Cream, but more refined, if so to speak, let's say. It's beautiful. The nose behind is Jerome Epinette. He's a top notch perfumer. He has created many fragrances for Atelier Cologne. He also created many fragrances, including Bal d'Afrique for Byredo. He also created 16 fragrances for Wilhelm Perfumery. So he's not improvising. He really knows what he does. And he's the master knows behind this beautiful fragrance. I tell you, it's a heavy hitter, period, for summer. But you can wear this in the winter. The fragrance is so beautiful. I even have a candle here. It smells divine. It's super creamy, almost lactonic, although it doesn't really have milky notes, but it's so creamy and so tropical that it really smells lactonic. It smells like whipped cream with caramel. It's absolutely delicious. The pistachio is very prominent and the almonds too. I would say even more than caramel, but caramel is strong here as well. It's like a caramel overdose. Beautiful fragrance created by a master perfumer, Jerome Epinette. Sol Cheirosa 62 by Sol de Janeiro. So the next one on the list to knock his socks off is, I forgot to remove the case. This is Santal Carmin, here's the name, by Atelier Cologne. And you can opt in or opt out to have this beautiful case, which I think is beautiful. They can engrave your name here, whatever you want. You can also choose a silver or a gold bottle. And yeah, it's just beautiful. This is nothing new. It's a sandalwood fragrance. Santal Carmin is the name. It's a beautiful, sweet sandalwood. It's an oriental woody fragrance, actually. It's been launched in 2014. There's nothing new, nothing trendy, so to speak, but it's one of the most beautiful sandalwoods I've ever smelled. It has saffron, it has lime, it has bergamot, vanilla, musk. It has papyrus, which is one of my favorite notes, which I think it balances the whole sweetness out in the most perfect way, because papyrus gives fragrances that type of dry, woody smell. And I think it is very important to balance out sweetness, because although you might like sweet fragrances, as I do, but when it is too much, it's too much. You know what I mean? And this is a sandalwood fragrance. So usually you like your creamy, sweet sandalwood, but it's not like this one, okay? So I think this is a very well blended fragrance. This is definitely unisex. I think it leans more feminine than masculine, but it's definitely unisex. And it's been created by the same master perfumer as this one, Jerome Epinette, as I said before. So Atelier Cologne, I highly, highly recommend this. It's very long lasting, at least on my skin. Sillage is amazing. Projection is amazing as well. And I get massive compliments. Men love this one. For whatever reason, it has to be something psychological, but men are drawn to very sweet fragrances. And this is a hit. You have to try it. Santal Carmin by Atelier Cologne. Next one to knock his socks off. Escape by Calvin Klein. This is a gem from the 90s. Guys, back in the 90s, if you weren't wearing Escape by Calvin Klein, you were a nobody. The hype back then with Escape, I could compare it to the hype today with Baccarat Rouge. Like that. It's not a niche fragrance. It was like niche quality, and it still is if you get the older version, the vintage version. This is a vintage version. I was lucky enough to find the vintage version completely sealed. I also have the new one, which is this one, and you can compare the different juices. Like this is the vintage, this is the new one. It smells very similar, but it's not even close. It smells similar, but it's not even close. So if you like what I'm gonna say about this fragrance, and if you want to try to either get a decant, although I don't think there are decants of this, but if you can, go get it. And if you go for the full bottle, make sure it's sealed and it's the vintage version, okay? So the vintage version is made either in the US or France. This is the version made in France. So nowadays, they are selling a version made in Spain and also made in the US. Like this is made in the US, but I heard the Spanish version, it's not even comparable. This, it's made here, but it's not even comparable either. So I don't know what to tell you. I would suggest go get the version made in France. This is the most intoxicating, addictive, floral, aquatic fragrance I've ever smelled in my entire life. Nothing like this. It opens very strong in chamomile, green apples, It also has coriander, it has oak moss, ylang ylang, it has rose, it has carnation, it has jasmine, sandalwood. The list of notes is incredible. And there's nothing like this in the market. It's so unique, so different, to a point like Baccarat. When you were wearing this, everybody knew that you were wearing Escape. And there's something in the DNA that makes this fragrance so unique. It is the most beautiful thing. Yeah, that's why I wanted to repurchase this, and I tried to find a vintage version because it's definitely worth it. But it's so good. I cannot tell you how many compliments I get from this beauty, especially from men. That's why it made it to the list. Go get a version made in France. You won't regret it. This is a heavy hitter. This is a monster. This is a beast. 10 out of 10. Sillage, like 20 out of 10. Projection, 30 out of 10. And the fragrance itself, 50 out of 10. It's the most beautiful thing in its category. It's a floral aquatic fragrance. I love aquatic notes, especially for summer. I used to wear this in summer nights, and this is what I do this now too. I wore this basically last summer in summer nights, but I'm gonna wear this now as well because it's really a heavy hitter. I'm sure it will perform really well in cold weather. Escape by Calvin Klein. And if you can get on the list, we have Oud Oriental by Versace. Not Versace, mind you. This is an Oriental fragrance, definitely Oriental. This is the most inoffensive, entry level, as I like to say, oud. It's super feminine. This is one of the few ouds that I would say 100% feminine. Ouds tend to be a little bit strong. You have to get your nose trained to like it, and usually are unisex. In this case, and in the next one I'm gonna talk about, it's a very feminine oud. It's stunning. This has been inspired in the deserts in the Middle East and the warm breeze, and this is what this fragrance wants to embrace. That's why they pick the gold color. It's very rich, it's very luxurious, it's very classy. It's not like a punch in your face. It's not like the new rich type of fragrance, if it makes sense. I'm sure you know what I mean. It's beautiful. It's powdery. It has freesia, saffron. It has rose. It has sandalwood. It has vanilla. All of these are blended in the most beautiful way. They made a fragrance super beautiful. I wouldn't say it's groundbreaking. It's nothing groundbreaking in terms of the oud because there are thousands of oud fragrances in the market. But what I find different in this fragrance is that it is very feminine. It's not unisex. It's a very inoffensive fragrance. I wouldn't say this is an office safe at all. It's not an office safe fragrance, but still it's very innocent and it's very inoffensive. That's what I want to say. It's like an entry-level oud, because if you don't like oud, or if you would like to like oud, but what you smelled before you didn't like it, or you don't know how it's gonna work, try this one. This is a very entry-level, as I said, oud, and I'm pretty sure you will like it. You don't have to like it. Many people don't like oud. Actually, I kind of grew out of the oud thing. At some point, everything I would buy was oud, 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 oud. Now I kind of grew out. I've been in the niche perfume world for a while, for over 12 years. I'm new to YouTube, but not to the fragrance world, especially in the niche world. So I've been around for a while trying ouds, and I can tell you it's something you have to grow with, but not necessarily. Some people don't like, and as I said, I kind of grew out of the oud, but still it's a very beautiful note to explore, and this is absolutely stunning, beautiful. Oud Oriental by Versace. It used to be very expensive, and the only way you could get it was at the Versace boutique, but nowadays you can get it online for a pretty affordable price. So give it a try, it's beautiful. Oud Oriental, Versace. Next one, Crystal Oud by Montale. I've talked about this fragrance before. This is also one of my favorite fragrances in my collection, and certainly one of my favorites excuse me, in the Montale line. It's very, let me spray this, it's a beauty. It's so beautiful. It's very Montale. It has that Montale DNA, somewhat synthetic, a little bit harsh, but in the best possible way harsh in this case. It's a woody aromatic fragrance, It's been launched in 2008. It has melon, cantaloupe, it has green apples, which you can smell right in the opening. It has mandarin orange, has oud, of course. It has patchouli, musk, vanilla, sandalwood. Oh gosh. This is one of the most beautiful ouds I've ever smelled because it's also very feminine. I personally like feminine fragrances. I do have a few fragrances I love that are unisex, like Le Lion that I've been talking about and raving about all the time. But usually I tend to gravitate towards more feminine fragrances. And this is a super feminine oud, like Oud Oriental by Versace. And I tell you this because sometimes people are scared about oud because it is true that ouds can be very masculine as well, which there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that I personally like feminine fragrances, not necessarily girly, but feminine. And this is one of those. It's a very fruity oud. It's not your typical oud. I love it. It's very different from the rest of Montale fragrances. Although it has, as I was saying, the typical Montale DNA, it's not like a copy of other fragrances. Sometimes I feel like some Montale fragrances, it's a great house, but I feel like some fragrances are very, very similar to each other. I would like to see more diversity, especially in an each house. And I found this in Crystal Oud, in this one and the Red Oud as well. But this one gets me more compliments than Red Oud, especially from men. Well, actually, I have been using this for years, for 10 years at least. And it's a non-stop compliment getter, especially from men. So give it a try. Crystal Oud by Montale. Here we come with Bouquet Ideale. So mind you, this is the repackaging. I don't know if the new version has been reformulated or not. I hope they didn't reformulate it because it's such a beauty. This bottle has years, literally years, and it still smells divine. I think it has like 10 years, honestly. So beautiful. This is an oriental woody fragrance with cinnamon. It's heavy on spices, cinnamon, nutmeg, saffron. At least I smell saffron. I'm not sure if it has, but I smell saffron. It has guaiacourt, it has musk, it has labdanum. Labdanum, it's a note I like because it has that type of leathery, ambery scent. Sometimes it's more leathery, sometimes it's more ambery. In this case, it's more ambery. Don't worry, you won't smell leather at all here. It's musky. It has papyrus, which is also another note I love because papyrus gives the fragrance a slight dry type of smell, which I love because this is a very sweet fragrance and the papyrus makes the fragrance a little bit, dry and less sweet. Also has tobacco blossom, which gives the fragrance that type of smokiness, but it's very, very light and floral. Like tobacco, it's very smoky, right? Tobacco blossom instead gives some smokiness, but it's more floral and definitely way lighter. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. It's ultra feminine. It's super sexy. This is hot as hell, I tell you. It's super silky, super creamy, amazing. It's really divine. Also massive compliment getter from men. I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt that men love this one. Bouquet Ideale by Xerfjoff. Actually, this is the Casamoratti by Xerfjoff. So guys, another one added to this list is Coco Eau de Toilette, and for a good reason. I talked about this fragrance before. I was obsessed with Coco Eau de Toilette, but I wanted the vintage version because we all know that pre-reformulation formulas are always better. I don't know why. I have the modern Eau de Parfum, but I prefer this like 100 times. Yeah. It's different. Actually, this as an eau de toilette performs even better than the modern eau de parfum. This is such a beautiful fragrance. It's oriental, spicy, it has rose, it has peach. Oh, gorgeous. It has tonka, vanilla, labdanum. I love labdanum because it's a note that gives fragrances that leathery, sometimes warm, spicy type of note. You won't smell a leather fragrance here, but you will get the labdanum note. You will get the warmth, you will get the spice. It's very heavy on spices. It has mimosa, it has clover, of course. It also has tonka, vanilla, sandalwood. It's very ambery. It's a super sexy fragrance. This is actually a self-confidence boost. When I wear this, it's like I am so pumped up and I feel like so confident. And I think that vintage formulas always have that type of old Hollywood glamour that no modern fragrance has, at least no fragrance that I have tried. Vintage versions are different, especially those Chanel ones. They're like totally different fragrances. It's so beautiful. It's so wearable. It's cozy. It really smells very luxurious. And it also has a note that I love, which is called opoponex, or another name for that is sweet myrrh. And the sweet myrrh, what gives the fragrance is that type of honeyed, sweet type of thing, that it's not cloying, it's not suffocating, but it's soft and sweet. Absolutely stunning. It could, if you ask me, is it old school? No, this is not an old school fragrance. I think Coco, like number 5, you may like it or not, but you can't deny the fact that it's a classic. So this is class in a bottle, 100%. I like this much better than number 5. It's beautiful. This is a splash because back in the day, there weren't even, atomizers weren't even a thing. With the years, I remember they started making fragrances with atomizer, and I remember my mom, when she would go and buy, like in a duty free or in a perfume shop, a fragrance, the sales associate will even ask her, would you prefer with atomizer or splash, right? But nowadays, we don't have any choice. And I prefer the atomizer. But anyway, the vintage version comes without the atomizer. It's a splash, and make sure if you go for a vintage version that is sealed. Now, I also want to explain why I wanted the vintage version, not just because it smells nicer. The vintage eau de toilette is very special. Usually eau de toilettes are more fruity and more florals. It's not really like the same formula of another parfum, but lighter, as most of us think. I used to think that many years ago until I learned how it works. So it's not really the same formula. It's very similar, but usually eau de toilettes are more florals, are more fruity, and other parfums tend to be more ambery, more resinous, more spicy, warmer. And usually other parfums tend to become skin scents. People will smell it when they approach you, right? On the other hand, we have eau de toilettes, which are more airy. They are more detached from your body, from your persona, and those are the best for a great sillage. And I'm not just talking about vintage versions. This is how it works in general. Eau de toilettes have a lower concentration in comparison with other parfums, but the sillage is better. It gives that cloud, like, the typical cloud that stands in the air or hangs in the air. Well, that's what an eau de toilette usually does. The other parfum highly likely won't give you that effect. Last but not least, Rolling in Love by the House by Kilian. I kid you not, this is my favorite fragrance by far and so far from the house. It's an amazing fragrance. It's milky, it's very creamy and lactonic. It has almond milk, so you have 2 notes here. You have the nutty notes, which is very prominent, and you have the lactonic note, which is also very prominent. This is like super creamy and very milky. Yeah, it has honey as well. It has iris. Iris is a flower that gives a powdery note. When you smell like powdery fragrances, highly likely, especially in florals, highly likely they have iris. Other fragrances that are not florals also have iris in the composition, and it's, as I said, what gives that powdery note and soft note, because this is also it is a very sexy fragrance, but it's also very cozy, very warm. It's like very welcoming. It also has ambrette seeds. Ambrette seeds is it's a seed of an evergreen shrub, which is used in the perfume industry to sell for the natural musk, which comes from from animals, from deers, and of course for ethical reasons the perfume industry has stopped using, at least to my knowledge. Well, probably not in every fragrance is natural. I hope every fragrance is no longer natural, but yeah, that's why they use ambrette seeds. In Rolling in Love, it's a super sexy fragrance. It's especially nice for nights out, date nights. I would wear this all year round, although I think it is too heavy for summer nights. Even for nights, it's a little bit too heavy. Maybe you can layer this with something like a Molecule 1, for example. But I will wear this in summer. As I said, it's too heavy for me. to wear in summer, and even for people around me, because sillage is really, really impressive. So people will around you will smell it. But now in the winter time, oh gosh, this is hot as hell. Beautiful, beautiful fragrance. Rolling in Love by Kilian. Super, super feminine, super girly. It's not a teenager type of fragrance, but still super girly. If you like that type of fragrances, go for it. So guys, this has been all for today. I hope you enjoyed my 10 fragrances to knock his socks off. I hope you try some of them. If you already tried any of this, please let me know. I would love to hear from you. If you like my video and if you like my content in general, I would love for you to subscribe and to give me a thumbs up, and please leave me a comment below, because that way you will help me grow my channel, because you will show YouTube that you like my content, and that way YouTube will show my video to more people. So thank you so much for watching. It means the world to me, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.